G'day, welcome to the show. Salt Covers here. We are coming off our best ever night since starting to record videos on YouTube. We absolutely destroyed the books last night. Good for plus 8.1 units. We went 4-2. Make sure you go follow me at Salt Covers on Twitter. You can see it up above me. That's where we will tweet out our bets before we place them. By the time we hit record, some of them are no longer available, so make sure you go follow me on there, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Looking at our last games, we had too much action in that Hornets Nets game. It actually was a pretty good finish. We had the Nets minus 2.5 that game. That ticket lost, which was very annoying. Let's just have a look at that play-by-play, because the Nets were like, the Hornets came back and won that game. Hornets came back and won that game. That spread opened at it closed at Nets minus 4.5. So that's some great CLV there. Okay, the Nets were up by 9 with 4 minutes to go. Up by 9 with 4 minutes to go. We just need them to win by 3, and they end up losing outright. The Nets didn't score in the last 4 minutes of that game. Now, I can't be too mad at that, because it was a good thing that they didn't score in the last 4 minutes of that game. That helped us cash the under on that game as well. That was the stronger play for me. Also had some great CLV on that. That game closed at 212. We told you to take it even at 213. Great look there. Projections love that as well. We also had the Miami Heat. They had the Bulls in town. Heat were playing on a back-to-back. That was another rough one to lose. Let's have a look at that game as well just quickly, because the Heat were in range to cover that game as well.
One pair of pants later.
So the Heat were up by 8 with 9 minutes to go, so in a great position to cover, and they end up losing outright as well. We got some good CLV on that bet as well. Next we have the Celtics and Lakers. Celtics minus 6. That game closed at around Celtics minus 6.5, I believe. Like we say with Boston, we love backing Boston in these big marquee games. They do show up in these big games. That spread did see some Lakers steam just before the game started. I think that was a result of KP sitting out. But yeah, nice cover by the Celtics. They were up by 20 at one point. The Lakers did claw back. LeBron left. Now LeBron's might not be coming back for a few weeks. It will be interesting to see where the Lakers are priced there. Our favorite bet on the card was the Pistons plus 5.5. We got a bad number on this game. We could have gotten them at Pistons plus 6.5. Pistons end up losing by 5 exactly. We win that bet by the hook. That game closed at Pistons plus 5. We did see some late market steam towards the Pistons, just as I expected. If you go watch my last episode, we say that expect a late market push towards the Pistons. We cashed that for 4 units. Our last bet, now this was one that we were scared. I placed this bet under 234, hit record, started talking about it, refreshed my odds screen and saw that it had steamed up to 236. That game closed at 236.5. It got as high as 237. We're a bit concerned about that. Turns out the Pistons and Warriors were just throwing up bricks for like the first 5 minutes or so. That was more or less a pretty sweat-free under there, so love to see that. So we ended the night 4-2 plus 8.1 units. Now up 17 units in March. That's a great record in March. We're clawing our way back to a positive record since recording YouTube. I can't believe we're down by almost 30 units. Let's have a look at today's bets. We got 8 games on the card. First game is the Nuggets in OKC. This is a day game. Gotta look out for those. Denver coming off an overtime win against the Suns. Jokic and Gordon are probable. Expect those guys to play. OKC coming off a win where they beat the Blazers. That spread went from OKC minus 15 to minus 2. OKC had their entire starting lineup out and they still covered the 15. Just crazy. Here we have a spread that opened at 6.5, now at OKC minus 8. Sharp Books opened this at OKC minus 7. OKC are definitely the side to take here. By the way, we've got three bets on today, one of which is a max bet. It's no longer playable. Make sure you go follow me on Twitter. We've got 2 other bets. Only one of them is actually still playable. Back to this. So yeah, OKC is definitely the side to take here. I'm a little bit annoyed I didn't get the 7. Projections got this at OKC minus 10. OKC basically playing on 3 days rest because all of their starters sat out and none of them are on the injury report here. Denver coming off an overtime win just over a day ago. Now they've got to play a day game in OKC. That's a quick turnaround there. Yeah, like I said, OKC is the side to take here if you've got absolutely no action on today. It is tough. Like, that's still, like, Denver are getting a lot of points. Like, they're probably like the 4th or 5th best team in the league. I'd say it's either Denver or the Lakers are the 4th best team in the league. OKC 13-5 against the spread, against winning teams at home. That's a great stat. And yeah, in terms of best numbers still on the board, definitely this OKC spread. I haven't played it, probably won't play it. Looking at the total, this opened at 241.5 at the rec books, 239 at the sharp books, now at 242.5. This is one that I was not expecting to see rise. We know how these day games go. They do tend to go under. You do have an OKC team that is rested, but that could always mean that they're rusty as well. Nothing from me here, spread or total. Definitely OKC is worth taking a look at if you need to place a bet on today, which I hope none of you guys are. Next, let me just fix up my screen. Next, we have the Mavericks versus Suns. Opened at 7.5, and 7.5 is still there. Yeah, so projections got this at Suns minus 2. Now, I've adjusted the Mavs to only look at numbers from February onwards, but that data still has a lot of Kyrie in it, and about 20% of it has Gafford in it. I'd price Kyrie as being worth 2 to 3 points, probably 3 points to a spread. I'd say Gafford is worth about 1 point to a spread, so I'd say both of them being out, probably around 3.5 points. So now looking at Suns minus 5.5, maybe minus 5. Suns coming off an overtime loss against the Nuggets. They had to claw back in that game. Dallas coming off a respectable loss versus the Grizzlies. They did have the lead going into the 4th quarter as 10 or 11 point dogs. I said last episode, Dallas are a team that I want to find spots to back them. Max Christie, Clay, Najee Marshall, Caleb Martin, just some solid vets still here. Like, I feel like they're going to be priced as like a bottom 10 team. They're probably more like that 15 to 20 range now. My angle here is that this is a look-ahead spot for the Suns. They have the Grizzlies on deck the following night. They did lose to the Grizzlies in overtime last time they played. I haven't bet this spread yet. The thing that will push me over the edge is if I see the market go towards Dallas. If I see -7s pop up at the sharp books, I will take a long, hard look at Dallas. Can't guarantee that I'll bet them. And this is a spot where I'm happy to wait and possibly take a worse line to get that information that the market likes Dallas. Looking at the total, we had a total open at 230.5, 229 at the sharp books. 229 is still there. Look, I have no idea how to price this total with all the Dallas injuries. Let's move on. We have... Who have we got next? Cavs in Milwaukee. Now, I wish someone told me about this game and that the last game would have been a look-ahead spot for the Bucks. So I've been saying I want to take the Magic, I want to find spots to back them. We tried backing them against the Raptors, weren't successful there. If I knew that was a look-ahead spot, I would have backed the Magic. Oh well, not gonna dwell on that. Here we saw a spread at 9. It opened at 8.5 at most books. I believe there were some 6.5s to the Cavs. If you got that, then just too easy. Projections got this at Cavs -8. We see this now at Cavs -9. Cavs are 3-0 against Milwaukee, 2-1 against the spread. This is a bad matchup for the Bucks. Like, Mobley is about as good of a he's a prototypical guy that you can place on Giannis. This is a very well set line. Cavs 2-3 against the spread in their last 5. Still the number 1 team against the spread. I have nothing on the spread here. It is a matchup advantage for the Cavs, but 9 points for the Bucks at home. That's kind of appealing. Bucks are 3-8 with no rest against the spread. Looking at the total opened at 237. Sorry, 237.5. Still there. Projections have this at 240. This is, it's not a day game. Each of the 3 previous matchups haven't sniffed 237, and all of them have seen market movement towards the under. Bucks after a loss, 17-8 to the under. That's something that you like to see. We've seen this total just move up to 238. Let's refresh this on screen. Denver Nuggets now at 243 as well. Let's get back to the Cavs, and the Cavs Bucks 238. So we've seen some movement up. I would lean under. Projections would lean over. Too many angles tilting me either way. Nothing from me here. Let's move on. What have we got next? Next, we have the game where we have got a max bet. We have got a max bet in the Grizzlies-Pelicans game. We will get straight to it. This total opened at the rec books at 233.5. We matched that up against the projections. We looked into a few trends and we immediately max bet the over. Projections got this at 246.7. Let's get straight to it. This number was available on FanDuel for 5 hours. Make sure you go follow me on Twitter at SoulCovers. I made sure to let you guys know about it. Things we should note, 99% no Zion this game. He's not officially listed out as of yet, but if you saw that video of him, he's not playing back-to-backs, especially this late in the year where they've got nothing to really play for. Triple J is also out. He's really important to the Grizzlies defense. They're 7.8 points per 100 better with him on the floor. That's around the ranking 95th percentile in the league. We have 2 top 5 over teams. Grizzlies, fastest team in the league. Grizzlies regularly getting these 240s, so seeing a 233.5 for a Grizzlies team against the Pelicans, you gotta take the over. Pelicans 24 and 14 to the over without Zion. Seems like the books overreact to him being out. Yes, Zion is an over player. Put Zion in and take the Pelicans are going to play worse defensively. They're going to get more opportunities offensively. They're going to play with more pace. He is an over player. Still, I don't care. I think this was an overreaction to Zion being out, or just a bad line. Pelicans also 8-4 to the over with no rest. 13-8 to the over against top 10 pace teams. Grizzlies 22-9 to the over on the road, 23-10 to the over with totals of 233 or greater. Now we saw the sharp books open this total at 230. The sharp books opened this at 240 actually. So we've seen the total move back. We've seen some sharp action under, but we're still sitting on a great ticket. As a result of this sharp movement, or some sharp movement towards the under, we've actually played some of this back. We have played a unit down on under 239 and a half. I may look to play a bit more back, try and get that middle. Now we see the total at 238 and a half at sharp book. So look, if you're coming into this game with absolutely nothing, I don't have anything for you on the total, but we are loving our max bet on the over 233 and a half. Looking at the spread, this opened at Pels minus 10. Now Grizzlies minus 10. Now Grizzlies minus 9. Projections at Grizzlies minus 10. Pels on a back-to-back. Look, Grizzlies getting 9 points as road favourites when they just haven't been good against the spread since the All-Star break. 3-7 in their last 10. I lean the Pelicans here on the spread, but not enough to bet on them. They just lost to the Rockets by 30. Let's move on to... We have the Jazz and the 76ers. It'd be easier just to list who's playing rather than who's not playing. So, Clarkson, Markkanen, Collins, Kessler all out. Paul George and Maxey are out. We saw this spread open at Sixers minus 7.5. In what world should the Sixers be laying 7.5 points with no Maxey or no Paul George? 76ers are 1-13 against the spread as home favorite. Yes, 1-13 against the spread as home favorites. We have a small ticket on Jazz plus 7.5. Got that down for 1.5 units. That is as far as I could go betting on the Jazz. We know the Jazz are going to fight. Like, the guys that they are playing, they are guys who might not actually be NBA players. They're going to be guys who are fighting for their next contract. Now we see the spread at Sixers minus 5.5. Love to see that. Projections got this at Sixers minus 1.5. So a nice edge here towards the Jazz. I think this spread might even have more room to go towards the Jazz. Given that, no Maxey, no Paul George. Looking at the total opened at 222.5 at the rec books, 226 at the sharp books. Now at 227, seeing some action towards the over. Projections do like the over, but there's just too much to think about in terms of who's missing. How the fuck do you price John Collins' impact on an NBA total? At current numbers, I don't have anything for you. I'd say it's Jazz or nothing. Definitely just do not watch this game. Next, we have the Spurs in Minnesota. Spread opened at Wolves minus 10. Now Wolves minus 11. Projections at -12. Nothing from me here. I just don't know how motivated the Timberwolves are going to be in this spot. Timberwolves coming off a narrow win in Miami. Spurs coming off a bad loss in Sacramento. Gobert is questionable. Charles Bassey is out. Yes, Charles Bassey is out. Total opened at the rec books at 228.5. It opened at the sharp books at 232.5. That 232.5 seems to be priced as if Gobert is not playing. I don't have anything here on the total. We do know that Timberwolves totals have been taking steam because they're playing Naz Reid at center, shooting more threes, playing with more pace. I don't have anything here on the total. Projections at 228. If Gobert gets ruled in, take the under before it drops. If he's out, stay away. This number is priced as if he's not playing. Let's move on. Just a not a great game there. Let's just get it off my screen to. This is a much better game. We've got two of the top 6 teams against the spread. Pistons at Trailblazers. Pistons coming off a narrow loss to the Warriors where they at least covered the 5.5 for us. Love to see that. Now in a back-to-back spot. Blazers coming off a bad loss against OKC where they did not have anyone on their team. So we've seen this spread open at Pistons -2.5. Now at Pistons -3. Projections got this at Pistons -3.5. I want to see how the Blazers perform against the spread after a loss. Portland are 18-17 against the spread after a loss, so nothing there. There are just some strong angles at play for both teams here. Blazers 16-4 against the spread against the East. Pistons 18-9 against the spread after a loss. 7-3 on back-to-backs. When you have strong angles for both sides, projections right online, it means just do not bet into the spread. Total opened at 231.5. Now at 233. Nothing from me here on the total. Pistons have been playing with more pace here. We did see the last total steam up. Let's move on to the last game on the card. We have the Kings in LA to play my Clippers. Kings been playing well recently. Kings 7-3 against the spread in their last 10, 7-3 straight up. Clippers seem to have gotten right. 2 straight home wins against some decent competition. They beat the Pistons, beat the Knicks without Brunson. Clippers still 2-8 against the spread in their last 10. Powell has missed the last 9 of those. 2-7 against the spread without Powell. Monk and Sabonis still out. We saw the spread open at Clippers -6. We saw the rec book start to move this towards the Kings. I saw some Clippers -5s popping up. So we picked up a Kings +6 for 1.5 units. Then we saw the sharp books open at 6. Now the spread hasn't moved. We've seen some 6.5s pop up for the Clippers. Still 6 at Bet365. At Pinnacle, it is still at 6, but juiced towards the Clippers. Do I love this Kings ticket? No. Clippers are a team to back at home as favourites. Clippers 13-5 against the spread at home against over 500 teams. That's a great number. That's a number that I do not like if I'm a Kings backer. Kings as road dogs against winning teams, 6-6 against the spread. Clippers best home team against the spread, 22-9. Projections got this at Clippers -2, so that's a nice edge here towards the Kings. Look, my approach here is I don't love this ticket. If I see sharp books move towards the Clippers, if I see them if I see 6.5 start popping up at like sharp books, I may dump this Kings ticket. I have Kings +6 for 1.5 units. Total opened at 223 at the rec books. When it opened at the sharp books, it opened at 220.5 at the sharp books. Now we see it at 218.5. So definitely some under action here. Projections got this at 224.5. So moving against the projections, definitely looks like an under spot based on the market movement. I don't have a bet here on the total. Seems to be priced out now. Let's have a look at our best bets for today. We have got 4 of them. If you count middling as 2 separate bets, so our max bet over 233.5. We got that down for 5 units. Really happy about that ticket. We have played a unit back towards the under. We have got 1 unit down at under 239.5. Current total is at 2. What's the current total at? Current total at the sharp books is 238.5 tilt, juice towards the under. So starting to see some movement back towards the under. Do I play any more of this back? Not as of now. We also have the Jazz +7.5 at the 76ers, taking an ugly dog here, taking the G League Jazz. I don't care. Spread now at 5.5, so love to see that. We also have the Kings +6 at the Clippers. Got that down for 1.5 units. Do I love the ticket? No, but as of now, we have not dumped it. Maybe we will. I will tweet that out if we do. Still, biggest thing you can take away from this episode, go follow me on Twitter at SaltCovers. You would have gotten that 233.5 if you did. If you don't, I'm sorry. Until next time, let's get them books salty.